Yo,
Yo,
how's it going?
It's a Guardian.
Hey, yo, what's cracking?
it's a cast.
It is. How have you guys been?
Pretty good.
Huffy's got himself a free trip to the Bahamas coming up,
Yeah,
Tomorrow?
buddy.
You're muted, Huffy. Just so
and
Yeah.
Huffy's muted.
Huffy's
so
muted.
Good.
That's okay.
Hello?
Like for our audio listeners, he's not
Discord.
actually muted.
Discord.
Yeah, I
Hey,
think
Hey.
Oh,
there.
okay. I thought you were gonna tell me your headset died literally like at the very start of this. That would have been great. That would have been
Nah.
awesome.
There's a little mute symbol on this Discord thing.
Yeah, no, I'm leaving on Monday. I'm gonna play some shows in the Bahamas. I'm super excited. I'm gonna play some shows in
Nice.
Florida, and then I'm gonna come back to New York and be sad.
What's the event? Is it a wedding or?
Nah, it's like just this band that I play with. We're going to play a couple of hotels.
Jazz?
No, like pop funk.
Oh,
Ooh, nice.
I would think it would be reggae, but I just can't see you playing reggae.
I
They got
actually
enough reggae
once
down there.
recorded
Ding,
a
ding, ding,
on a reggae Christmas, a reggae children's music album, and it was really weird.
That
And
sounds
it was
fucking
like-
weird.
It was, yeah, I can't even. There was like horns, and the guy was like, "And the wheels on the bus go," and everybody's like, "Round and round."
Oh
It was
my
like,
God. I don't know if I could get into
The
that.
wheels on the bus go. It was like really
Rude
bad.
boy.
It was not
Oh
good.
man,
Oh my god.
that's brutal, dude.
Not like I. Needless to say, I will not be sharing the link to that.
I mean, you can share it to me. I won't tell anybody.
So I have a couple interesting topics of discussion this week. Most of them are not Destiny related, but we do have a couple Destiny things to talk about later. I want to start with this. Have you guys heard this thing about Co-Carnage?
Oh yeah.
Dude, so Co-Carnage put a video out the other day. He took his first day off from streaming in 2,000 days straight.
What?
Over 5 years, right?
Okay.
Without missing a day.
That's insane.
And he's taking one day off and then going back to streaming every
That's
day.
so insane.
What a
How long
fucking
is
nut
how
job.
long are his streams at this point though?
Well, he said the shortest stream in that time period was 30 minutes, but that he averaged 8 hours something minutes, and then like his longest streams were
Yeah.
like 14, 16 hours.
Okay.
Damn, dude.
So the
That's
the
nutty.
average is important though. That's because like
Yeah.
you can watch how a 30-minute stream in a month can kill your average for like well no, I'm actually 8 hours a day, and then you put a 30-minute stream in there, and then suddenly you're 5 hours a day or whatever, you know.
Yeah, well, so like
That's
then I
impressive
started
to
looking
stay-
into
to
this.
stay at a 5 hour average or 8 hour average.
So I started looking into this more though, and he apparently had a kid during this time period.
What
Right,
the
so-
fuck?
Two kids.
Yeah, and I was like, how did he pull that? Apparently, he didn't miss the stream. Like, he still had a stream for it. I don't know if it like.
Streamer goals.
she-
Holy shit.
I don't know if she went into labor like after he started streaming,
Just
but
stream
clearly, like
labor,
after
dude.
that kid was born, he's like, "Look, I got to start in 30 minutes. I'm
Oh
out of
my
here."
God.
You
Well,
know,
he also could have like IRL streamed at the hospital. Like,
that's
waiting,
possible too.
you know.
I don't know. I didn't dig that hard, but that's
insane. That's some dead
that's something.
fucking dude. That's insane.
His chat's active right now.
yeah. So I mean, I thought like.
He's offline.
Hey, he'll probably take a week or two off, you know, vacation. That'd probably be a good idea. But he's like, no, I'm only taking a day off. And then he's like, in the future, I'm not keeping this streak going. But he's like, I'm still gonna stream every day. And if I need to take a day off, you'll know months in advance. Like,
I'm dead.
damn, that's some
What?
fucking dedication,
He's
dude.
probably got, well, it's not just dedication, but he's probably got some like, I mean, it could be just as easily as like he doesn't want to go work at Home Depot ever again. You know what I mean? Like it's like I don't want that life, so I'm gonna do this. He
I mean,
also
yeah, like
he
the
also
fear
might
of, like,
really.
losing-
I don't know how much YouTube you guys watch, but I recently watched a Mr. Beast interview with is it Logan Paul, and Logan Paul was asking him, Mr. Beast, like, what does he do outside of YouTube? And Mr. Beast was like,
Oh, you mean not Logan Paul? You watched it with Casey Neistat.
no, it was Impulsive. Anyway, he
Oh,
asked
okay.
Mr. Beast what he does for fun. That's not important. He asked Mr. Beast what he does for fun, and Mr. Beast said, "Why can't doing YouTube be fun?" Like he was like, "I don't understand. Like I've been doing YouTube since I was 13 years old. I don't know really how to do anything else." So it might be like one of those situations
Hmm.
Yeah,
where
I
he
mean,
just really just legitimately just enjoys it.
you can't dislike it.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
I mean
sure
you
that
can't at
that's
that
not
point, right?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure that that's definitely not it. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I think that is like an example of, like if you work in a small shop, you might never meet somebody that's like this dedicated to something, but like doing something on the internet, you always have these outliers where like these people achieve these incredible things that seem
Well, the
Oh
weird
yeah.
totally out
thing
of
is,
bounds for a normal
well, the weird
person,
thing is, I mean,
Yeah.
if I don't know if it's like it just wasn't like talked about, but it's just it's weird how like we can find somebody that's like, well, there's this one person that have been streaming for 12 years straight and hasn't taken a day off. You know what I mean? Like we
Mhm.
don't know because it's such a wide field of people, and we don't work with them like in the same sense that you would work with somebody in a shop.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Still insane
It is
to be that
it's kind of
consistent like
cool
that.
and weird at the same time because it's like that's but for as far as Twitch is concerned, that's one of your colleagues, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
kind of, but like it's almost adjacent. Like
Yeah.
we're working in the same company, but not
Mm.
the same store, if you will.
Right.
Yeah. And like the company likes all of us different amounts.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's
Right.
our fault. Which is, yeah. It's
Um So yeah, I mean that's pretty cool though that he was able to do that.
Yeah.
I wish him the best. I would never even come close to trying something like
No,
that.
no, fuck that.
If I could stream for a month straight, that'd be incredible.
Yeah,
So,
right. A consistent schedule period would be nice.
I bet you, in 5 years he must have been like gravely ill some of those days and was just like, I'm doing this anyway. So
Oh yeah. I mean, how could you not get sick that many days in a row? Like that's
Yeah.
insane.
So moving on, this is the big discussion I want to have today. Is there's been this debate circulating the internet about Sekiro. We've been talking about this on and off
it's
each week.
Sekiro.
See, I don't know. I keep saying it differently, and then
Shrekero, actually.
everybody's correcting me. So
it's Shrek the video game.
like
Yeah.
I've been saying Sekiro because like some people are like
What's that?
Sekiro, and I'm like
I'm dead.
I don't.
It's
I'm
the
dead.
Shrek
Yeah,
game.
it's just an I instead of an E. I'm not trying to bust your balls. I was just trying to be funny. But
Yeah.
but
Bust
they
your
say it in
balls.
the game, Sekiro.
Sekiro.
Okay.
All right.
Sekiro. Anyway,
Yeah.
obviously it's a very hard game. It's a Soulsborne game. They've always been hard. They've always had one difficulty level. You can't adjust it to make it any easier or harder for yourself.
So this one you can make harder.
Oh, you can make it harder?
Well,
What?
yeah,
Why would
I
you
mean-
want to do that?
I mean,
There-
you can make all Souls games harder.
How?
Yeah. So there are 2 items in the game. One you can get on your first playthrough, like almost right off the bat. I found it by accident and didn't know what it does. Turns out it makes the game like twice as hard. It's called the Bell Demon, and when you pick it up, every enemy, the trade off is that you get better loot from them and like better experience. But the bad side is that they have like almost twice as long health bars, and they have less like pause between their animations. So like the windows tighten.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
it's really bad. And then on your second playthrough, you get this thing called Kuro's
So did you play
Shine.
through the whole game with that on?
Yes.
Or? Oh.
Not realizing it.
Well, I
What's it like
realized
to want to
it
hurt yourself?
like
You just get
a
to
little
that way.
while in.
Yeah,
I
no,
was like, what does this do?
Souls
But-
games and Bloodborne and all, they have ways to make them harder like that. Not like, well, not just that, but like New Game Plus is like with Demon Souls, it was 40% more health, and they I mean they didn't get involved with like their attack animations and stuff. They were still the same enemies, but they like had 40%
Have you been playing
more
this
health.
game, Exo?
No.
Or
No.
CPR.
Captain.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there are infinite new game pluses in Sekiro, or at least we haven't found the cap yet.
Yeah.
Isn't there in Dark Souls too?
Yeah,
There is eventually a cap.
You can keep doing it, but there's a difficulty cap. So the
Oh.
first one is the biggest jump. It's usually anywhere between 30 to 40% more health and more the enemies hit you 30% harder, and they have 30% more health, and you do 30% less damage. And then every subsequent playthrough after that increases it a little bit. But
So basically, the appeal of these games, it's almost like a cult, like what do they call that? It's like a cult hit, they
Cult
like
classic type deal.
it's like a small group of people, but like also like a large group of people, but it's a niche type of game. You know what I mean?
I think niche is
it's a
probably
large
better
niche.
term.
Very
it's a large niche, but it's not like everybody that's like
Yeah.
interested in playing these games.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
and the fascination, in my opinion, comes with the difficulty. We'll get into this, but basically, reviewers have caused this debate on the internet, mostly comprised of people who probably haven't touched any of these games, I'm assuming. And by reviewing it, it's forced a lot of people who probably don't have interest in these games to jump into them and be very frustrated and have these experiences where they say, man, if I could have just had an easy mode, then I could have gotten my job, which is reviewing this game, done a lot faster. And
they had the same thing with Cuphead. If you remember, Cuphead had the same kind of stuff. They didn't know it would be as difficult as it was going to be. Didn't have an easy mode, and the reviewers were complaining that there wasn't an easy mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the reviewers sparked this debate where they started saying, hey, there should be an easy mode added. And the people who are really passionate about the difficulty of the game have been firing back saying, like, it would change the identity of the game and that you shouldn't do that. And then it started this emotional debate because basically the rebuttal since then has been, well, what about disabled people who can't play these type of games? You must hate disabled people if you don't want an easy mode. And like that is basically what this has boiled down to at this point. I can't believe that I'm having to say this, but not everything is for everyone. I mean, that's just how I feel about this. I wouldn't be so offended if maybe they like put a setting in the game where they were like, hey, look, if you have like a physical impairment of some kind, then you can press this button and you're playing a game in a way it's not intended to be played or something. It gives you like a big disclaimer. But that's not what the developers wanted to do, and I can't fault them for that. And I don't think that they have to cater to every type of audience. It's not like it's not on them. I don't,
When it comes to like disabilities, like physical disabilities in video games, like there should to an extent be some sort of I guess something from the developers or some sort of something, right? Like video games are a media that should be enjoyed by the masses, right? Regardless of if you have one hand, two hands, no feet, like, whatever, right? Like you should be able to enjoy video games. And there are a lot of products and companies out there working towards making, accessible keyboards, stuff like that. So what it comes down to is those companies working with developers and the vocalization of those communities being a little bit louder because they are very very misrepresented and underrepresented. And it's my wife is a recreational therapist, and she's been working with a lot of people with disabilities, stuff like that, and she's always very interested in like when it comes to video games and accessibility. So when it comes to something like this, I feel to an extent personally, yes, these games are difficult and they should be, I guess, played by certain types of people, right? But at the same time, there shouldn't be the limitations as far as that goes. Making shit easier, no, that's stupid. But making it accessible for people with disabilities,
Well,
I
up
feel
until
is a little bit
recently,
more different.
like they had to make a lot of their own controllers up until before Microsoft actually created their adaptive controller to help with that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Microsoft.
Microsoft was
So
a
so
Most
Microsoft
of
is
that
a
is
big one for
big.
peripheral
that.
I
based.
mean that controller alone is a big reason why you're probably hearing we're hearing a lot of this now, but
Mm.
um
Well,
only because
Microsoft has been
they kind
the
of created a
biggest
standard.
advocate for this. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like Microsoft, a lot of companies and people work with Microsoft to develop this thing, and that is so huge and fantastic. They were able to do that, and I believe that type of controller is able to be used on PC for games like Sekiro and all that stuff. So
So things that I
there
know
should
about gamers that have like before the adaptive controller is they had to make their own controllers.
yeah.
They had to actually design their own peripherals, or have them designed for them specifically.
FromSoft did?
No, like
Oh,
individual handicapped people or
Oh, I see.
Usually it
people
was
with
little like
disabilities.
nonprofits and stuff like that would help develop these types of things.
Yeah, and
Oh,
so
okay.
like they were very piecemeal and they were very specific to a certain action before the adaptive controller. Now the adaptive controller's there. They still can use all of their peripherals because they can plug them in, but they can
Well,
use them like they can remap them in a button for a button that they have uh uh like they already have these peripherals because they've made them.
I mean, fuck, there's people that have played Rock Band with bananas. Like, it's not
yeah.
impossible
yeah.
to make these things, right?
So
But
Oh yeah,
it's one of those
the
things that
Adreno or
allowing the
whatever it
I,
was,
accessibility.
I
the
wanted to I wanted to get Huffy's perspective because actually, I mean, with the repetitive stress injury, I think that you have like a little bit of an insight on both sides of this debate. So
I mean, for me, like the only problem I have is I can't play the game for more than like 2 hours without
right,
extreme pain.
yeah.
So there's not really like, I mean, I
I mean,
guess
that could
with the
still because
adaptive controller, like I could figure out something, you
there's
know.
some like isn't there some mechanics in the game where you have to like spam buttons and stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that.
mean,
So
which sucks,
yeah,
but it's part of the game,
I mean, a
yeah,
lot of
and
games, have like the tap for, QE events or and all that. Like
yeah,
that's actually something that's newer because of the accessibility before
yeah.
people with, with disabilities that can't sit there tapping the button, but they can hold it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I think the core of like this issue is for most disabilities that like prevent you from playing video games, like nearly all video games support like colorblind mode, and like visual alterations that will help people that are visually impaired play the game. But most like disabilities that cause you to not be able to play a game are peripheral based and are really like more on the hands of like the console developer, or the
true.
peripheral developer. And I think
Mm.
Microsoft has made good strides
I'm pretty sure you
towards
can
that.
play with the adaptive controller, can't you? Like you can
Yeah,
play that
yeah, you
game
could do that on PC. You could
100%.
play you could play the adaptive controller on Xbox. I'm not sure
I hear that
where
the
PS4
PS4
sits on that.
controller support is not good though.
Yeah, well,
If
that
you do
makes
want to
sense.
do that,
And they should work
And
on
that's
that.
why
But
Xbox made theirs because it goes for PC and Xbox.
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
So PlayStation just needs to get their ass in line and make their own. Is what it comes down
but
to.
but at the core of it, there aren't really gameplay changes that you could make to Sekiro, like to add an easy mode or even like a disability mode. Like if someone makes the argument like, oh, what about people with one hand? Well, making the game like slightly easier isn't going to help them like at the
Yeah,
at
it's
the
two
root of the
different.
problem
It's two
because they
different
have one
fights.
hand.
Is what
They
it
need a
is.
different controller. I think the core of this issue is people on the internet who want an easy mode for the game using disabled people as like a
Mhm.
scapegoat and like as an argumentative point. And I think that that's super shitty to like pretend to be a white knight just to further your agenda.
Oh
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think just realizing that that Fromsoftware can't really do anything about like missing limbs in their game, and
No.
adding
Yeah.
an easy mode is actually not possible for Sekiro because the game is easy. Like it's technically a puzzle game, right?
Right.
And you cannot
Yeah, there's
Can't
people who
deny
simplify
a
speed
puzzle.
run in like under an hour, right?
yeah, in under
Well,
an hour.
there
It's all about learning like what to do. It's like most of the fights are trivial, as soon as you try like one thing. Like if you watch a speed run, like and you watch how somebody takes down that ogre, like anyone could do that is if you know how to do it, you know?
Mm,
Like if you know that have you killed the ogre yet, Recked?
yeah.
Yeah, if you know that you can actually sneak up behind him and backstab him and take out a health bar, and then if you
I didn't
know,
do that, but
yeah, and if you know that if you dodge right on all of his grabs, like his animation cancel like flings to the or his animations fling to the left, so you can just dodge right through everything. So you just like
you know what
literally
made it
run in a
easier for
circle around
me?
him.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't discover any of those mechanics, so I think this is one of the cool things about this game is there is like an optimal way to do things,
Yeah,
but then there's also like everybody kind of does it their own way type of thing.
yeah,
And what made it easier for me is I noticed that sometimes I would dodge and I still wouldn't get far enough out of his reach for the grab. And then I realized that holding down the dodge button lets you sprint. Never realized that before.
yeah,
And so like as soon as I did that, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I could totally do this." And there was only like I didn't get it the very next try because there was a couple unpredictable lunges and stuff like that once you get him down to like his last little bit of health, he starts acting like a little more erratic and
yeah.
less predictable. But yeah. So I agree with you. It's kind of like Tomb Raider. Like once you figure
Yeah.
out like certain mechanics, then it becomes much simpler.
Well, the
So the
game,
long and short of it
the
is
game,
the accessibility argument and the easiness argument are two different arguments
Mm,
that are trying to be lumped into one when they shouldn't be. It is
yeah.
really what it comes down to.
I've been a fan of the game design philosophy for, I mean, the game since Demon Souls on the PS3. I didn't even know what game it was until somebody put it. They were like, "Oh, there's like a spiritual successor to uh Kingsfield on the PS2," and so
I remember that game.
so um they knew that they were going to have an audience that was just going to try it maybe and be like, nope,
Yeah.
this game isn't for me. Because at the time, games weren't challenging you in any way. They were just
Yeah.
kind of like, we were kind of like just going by a path where games are getting easier and easier and easier over time. And then you were feeling like you were getting better at them, but it wasn't because of that. It was because the game never actually challenged and rewarded you. So they said, well, what if we challenged you and then rewarded you for that challenge if you were so like back in the day of the old that's why he said when he made Demon Souls they don't make games like this anymore is because Mega Man and games like that were very 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 difficult. If you think they were easy, you should go back and try them. They're impossible.
Yeah, they were hard.
Yeah.
I remember actually that they were hard because of refresh rate and like input delay and stuff like that because
Yeah.
I remember specifically in Mega Man there was this this section where if you wanted this piece of armor, what you had to do was you shot this guided missile that you controlled with the D-pad and basically like you could move it up, down, change directions, stuff like that with the D-pad and it had to go like in a certain way, around, down, up, and like if it hit any of the walls, you had to start over. And it seems like really stupid. Like you should be able to do that. And then you knocked the door over so that you could go in and pick up the armor piece. And it was like maybe like 6 turns. But
Mhm.
because of how stupid the input delay was, I literally sat there for 3 hours or so,
Yeah,
like
man.
trying to open the stupid thing. That's how Mega Man was. Like it was pretty hard back then.
Well, the entire design philosophy over years it had changed from being like the arcade style model, kind of a little bit, because Mega Man was kind of built on an arcade style model where it was designed to, suck in quarters. Be like, oh well, I died, I've got to put in another quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But throughout the years, we kind of drifted away from that. They said, well, this game is going to be different. And they already knew that they were going to be losing an audience. Maybe people would try it. Maybe people like I don't know how many people that I've recommended Demon Souls to or Dark Souls to. And people were like, nope, that game isn't for me. I hate those kind of
And that's
like,
fine.
Yeah. So
That's fine.
they know,
yeah.
I think they understand that they're going to lose people anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
And if
they're
you
trying
please
to make...
everyone, you'll undoubtedly upset people.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you try to please everyone.
especially from
If you try
fans
to
of
put
an
an easy
established
mode
series at this
in.
point, because there's a certain expectation of difficulty that people have from software
Oh, yeah.
games now, that if it's not surpassed or at least met, people will be very disappointed.
So there's, on the other side of this debate, there's a meme that has started because basically one of the reviewers that I was talking about for PC Gamer put out an article that while they were reviewing the game, they couldn't beat the final boss, and that they modded the game to make the final boss easier. And basically the title was, "I beat Sekiro's final boss with cheats and I feel fine," right? And so in response to this article, this meme has started because somebody wrote this tweet that said, "You cheated not only the game, but yourself. You didn't grow, you didn't improve, you took a shortcut and gained nothing. You experienced a hollow victory. Nothing was risked and nothing was gained. It's sad that you don't know the difference." And now, like, people are just reposting that in, like, contextual ways that, like, have nothing to do with video games and stuff like that. It's actually pretty funny if you happen to see this, like, going around.
So did it come from
But
the comment section?
I agree with the sentiment, but you know what? Like, if I'm not gonna like rain on somebody's parade if they want to cheat to beat a single player game.
Yeah,
then
I don't care
go
if
ahead.
you want to cheat. Like,
Yeah.
literally go for it. I just
Yeah.
like
You're
don't
hurting
think you're
yourself.
entitled to
I mean-
have the game developers put cheats in
Right.
the game. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
dude, if
most
you
of
want to
the
mod your
comments
shit,
The article was a PC Gamer article, right?
Yes.
Reading through some of these comments, I mean, most of the comments are like, "You may have finished the game, but you didn't beat it. Why is this an article? Want to cheat? Go ahead. Don't claim to be a professional. Just don't claim to be a professional journalist." Like, journalists
Oh my
aren't
God.
like experts at the game, and
Yeah, and
you
they're
might get
usually pretty bad.
Well, but you might get assigned a game like Sekiro, and you
Yes.
might be like, "Well, I'm not good at games. Like, I want to
Dude,
play Mario Party." You know what I mean?
Actually, there's a great example of that. There's a recent article. A games journalist was assigned Cuphead to review, and there's like footage of him trying to play it, and it's embarrassingly bad. I mean, like, I've never seen anything so bad. Like, has this guy ever touched a controller in his life? Like, literally, he's in the tutorial, and you like have to jump on this block to jump on a cylinder, and he jumps over the block and just like keeps running up to the cylinder and trying to jump it, but you can't jump that high.
but
And
there's
he's
a
like
big
running
sign
backwards.
that says "jump and dash." Like,
Yeah,
that,
exactly. And dude, it took him like 10 minutes just to jump over that. I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well for him because
Yeah.
this game gets
Stupid.
really fucking hard. But yeah, that started kind of a debate too, where people were saying like, should you like have to have a minimum level of competency to be considered a games journalist? And it's a tough thing because you definitely don't need to be an expert at something to review it. You don't need to be a professional level Halo player to commentate on it or anything like that, so there's like a line somewhere. You need to be let's say you're like a football announcer. Did you need to play professional football at some point to do that? Most of them did. It's probably not like a requirement to understand all the aspects of the game. But I certainly wouldn't want them going to like someone who has experience reading off bingo numbers and being like, "Oh, you should come over here and talk about football a little bit,"
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, there are also a lot of different games, Like, I think that as games continue to diversify, maybe after these debates, there are, like, games that are, like, competitive PvP. There are games that are, like, difficult PvE. There are games that are, like, for the story, There are a lot of, like, adventure games that are way more about the story than the, like, challenge of the gameplay, And if you literally just had, like, specialists, like, yeah, I review competitive games, like someone that like actually knows what's happening in competitive games. Or like,
Yeah.
I'm a story reviewer. Like I play games that are games as an art piece. Like
Yeah.
they're just different games, and it requires different people to give like a real honest opinion. But that doesn't mean that anyone else's opinions are invalid. The
Yeah.
problem is that right now there is one title, game reviewer. And like that person is the reviewer of games, and they get to
Yeah.
assign points to everything,
There was actually a really funny article that has been going around as kind of a meme on this topic. Somebody reviewed the Division 2. They work for Variety, right? Have you ever heard of Variety?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge media.
It's a publication. Yeah, it's
yeah.
not like a video game publication, but they do review video games apparently. This review,
Well, they're starting to more at least. Now.
right? This review was so bad that Metacritic threw it out of their review score average.
That's so funny.
Dude, I read this review and my mind was exploding.
For what game? For Sekiro?
Division 2.
Okay.
He literally spent the entire time comparing this game to Tucker Carlson from Fox News. I'm not kidding. He mentions Tucker Carlson like 27 times in this review and is talking about racism and political themes that have absolutely nothing to do with the game. I swear to God. It's like
The story
dude,
is so light in that game to compare anything is fucking insane.
They specifically chose not to make a political statement. I remember reading the Kotaku articles that were like, why are they making a political statement by not making a political statement?
Dude, the president is Hispanic. Like, what? It's nowhere near any sort of reality.
It's like this guy went to his boss
Like,
and he had like just watched like Fox News the night before and was ticked off about Tucker Carlson, right?
Dude,
and he
yeah,
went
he
into
was-
his boss and he was like, "Look, I need to write an article about Tucker Carlson." And then his boss was probably like, "Joe," or whatever his name
video
is.
games, bro.
Listen, you're the video game reviewer. You can't write about Tucker Carlson. We've talked about this before. And he's like, I'll show him. I'm going to fit Tucker Carlson into this fucking review, man.
insane, dude.
That's pretty hilarious.
I just can't even with shit, dude. That's insane.
Man. I want to
Dude,
read this review now.
I'll link it in chat.
Okay.
But I mean,
What score did he give it ultimately?
10 out of 10, obviously.
He gave it a bad score. He did give it a bad
Okay.
score. And it did get thrown out because of this. They were just like, I'm sorry, we can't accept this. It like,
Fucking nuts, dude. That's just stupid.
isn't it?
Funny.
Here, I'm gonna link this in chat and
And to be honest-
in the Discord because it's worth a read just because of how insane it is.
Oh, it was variety.
Yeah, Variety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who lost their shit at Variety, dude?
That's so
Apparently, his name is Matt Paprocki.
See, that's the whole. That was the the subtext right there is the Kotaku article. That was that one. Everybody was like, "What do you mean?"
So listen to this excerpt, right? Their reasoning lies in the inherent power fantasy. Tucker Carlson empowers those sitting on their couch with Bud Light yelling at brown people. Tom Clancy lured tech-minded absolutists who see military strength above all. The Division 2 takes from both columns, reveling in the chance to extract better performance from weapons and make each shot a kill. What the fuck does that
That
mean?
guy didn't even play the game. Are you fucking kidding me? He didn't play the game. Didn't even start the game.
He read
Dude.
the
Yeah,
There's
right.
no
article.
way.
He read that Kotaku article that there was a Kotaku article that said that Division 2 is making a political statement by not making a political statement.
Oh, and then he just didn't play and extrapolated from that. He's
Wow.
like the guy who
Like,
reads
I know
like
everything.
he's like the guy who tries to write a book report and he like reads the inside cover and then just extrapolates a bunch of random
Dude, this guy didn't even
details.
read the
Yeah.
cover. This guy didn't even see the case, dude. What the fuck? Oh my god. He
But
had
yeah.
a brief fucking. I heard from a guy. Heard from a guy. Heard from a guy. Started type summary, and that was it. That's all I needed. Oh man.
So the last thing I want to say on this whole accessibility difficulty thing is that Cory Barlog, the guy who made God of War, and he's
Yep. God of War 2 and 3.
okay. Yeah, well, I meant the new one, the new.
Oh,
He
yeah,
made
yeah.
the newest one.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
made
It's,
the
which
newest
is
one
God
too.
of War 4, I believe, but it's not called that.
Technically,
Yeah.
it's kind of a new iteration because
Right.
of the story, the way the story is. But anyways, that's
So anyway, he's the
Anyway.
creative director and everything. He's a visionary. He's a very awesome developer, a good leader. It seems like people in the industry seem to really love him. He's got a lot of context, and he weighed in on this accessibility debate and kind of said accessibility has never and will never be a compromise to my vision, which apparently he's arguing basically for his multiple difficulty levels. But here's what I want to say, and there's like a lot of people referencing this as canon, that basically, hey, look, God of War is a difficult game and they have multiple difficulty levels. But this is what I will say to you. I didn't pick up God of War for the difficulty. It was great that it had a high level of difficulty, but I picked it up because I heard the story was great and that the gameplay was stellar and stuff like that. I picked up Sekiro because of the difficulty.
Yeah.
Like, I never would have picked it up if somebody was just like, "Oh, it's a cool story about samurais." Like,
The funny thing about those type of games is like you could tell people like now you're evangelized in the sense of Bloodborne style or Soulsborne styles games. But it always like the next game always evangelizes people, and like it's funny to watch because I've watched this since Demon Souls, and like people be like, no, this game like never for me. But then like Dark Souls changed that for a lot of people, and Dark Souls 2 changed that for a lot of people. But like it's like an ever growing fan base, and every time there's a new release of one of these games, it's funny to watch like the people that are like you that are like, hey, I liked it, it's pretty good. I like the fact. I respect the difficulty because the difficulty respects me. Like I feel respected in return. And it's just it's funny to watch to me from a person who's been there from kind of the beginning, not really, but kind of the beginning. I was a year late.
Yet.
I was a year late to Demon Souls. Before like it came out a year.
Are you gonna
later.
play Sekiro or what?
I probably will. I picked up Dark Souls 3 and I haven't beaten that. I'm way behind on the Souls games.
Gotcha.
But I did play Bloodborne and I loved Bloodborne. Yeah.
I mean, back to what Recked was saying, I have been a big fan of the Souls games. I wasn't going to play Sekiro. I was just like, like difficult games are fun, but I got kind of good at Dark Souls, I'm sure it won't be the same experience. And then I watched Soda Poppin'. I watched him stream Sekiro because I was like, oh, I'll just like get the story, I'll watch him stream. I watched him get to the first boss, and he died, and he died, and he died. And I sat there and I watched him fight this bitch for 6 hours. And after 6 hours, he had broken his webcam, right? There's 35,000 people watching, and like his webcam was still like on, but he had like hit it or something, and like it was cracked, and everything was red. Like he looked like a demon. And he was getting donations. Like people were donating in the middle of battle. And he's like, "You fucking retards! Don't you fucking donate to me!" Like using like the most like literally like so close to like getting banned. Like using like the most inflammatory language you could possibly say on stream.
Oh my God.
He's like, "Don't you fucking donate to me! I hate you all. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill your families." Like telling that through his chat, yelling at them, and he's red. His webcam is broken and like sideways. His like dogs are barking. Like it's like a total fucking mess. He's throwing stuff all over the room. And then after 6 hours, he beats this woman, and he just cries. And he just started crying, and I was like, "Wow, I gotta play Sekiro."
That's pretty serious. That's profound.
Yeah, like I came to this game for the difficulty, also, like literally, like he could have been banned for the shit that he was saying.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Interesting.
It was incredible.
So before we get to the Destiny stuff, I want to talk about Halo MCC real quick. Just so everybody knows, if you haven't signed up and you're interested in flighting on PC and testing it out, basically beta testing these titles as they're rolling out, then don't forget to sign up on Halo Waypoint. You can still do that. So I've been looking into this a lot recently, and there's a lot of things I'm really excited for with this, aside from just the game coming out. Apparently, they've brought the people from El Dorito on to fully support mods, which is going to be really interesting because they're going to allow them to change the Forge World editor. And
Interesting.
There's like infinite possibilities that they could like import in textures and things from other games.
Oh
into the
wow.
Forge World editor,
That's
and we could see
awesome.
some really cool creative stuff. So I think
The
that this
Destiny
is just
Halo
gonna
crossover we've always wanted,
right.
dude.
This is just going to open the floodgates. It's going to be insane. I'm really excited for it. I'm excited to play it. I can't wait to test flight and all that stuff. And also, I wanted to mention we talked about in terms of difficulty, the whole. Remember we talked about the katana on the back, and I said how you had to get like a Spartan laser kill, and it had to be like a multi kill.
I heard
I,
that last week.
yeah, so I looked it up, and I was actually underselling it. To get that katana, you had to get a multi-kill 2-for-1 with the Spartan laser in ranked free-for-all. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's insane, dude.
Crazy.
Dude,
You'd have to like de-rank yourself for that, you know?
yeah,
Like,
dude, like that would never fucking happen. I don't know. I just
That's
thought that
nuts.
was like a cool tidbit, like a glimpse into the past to say like, man, a game would never be bold enough to make you do something so ridiculous anymore. People would riot on
Oh,
Twitter
yeah.
over something like that, you know?
Easily,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm super stoked for that. And I don't know, like Borderlands 3, I'm excited for that, but in between this stuff, like during the summer, there's not a whole lot of games I'm stoked about. So I hope that Destiny Penumbra has something to offer because Season of the Drifter did not keep
mean,
me engaged.
We know
Yeah.
we'll have the raid, right? But that's pretty much all we
Well,
know.
if the leaks are true, it's going to be, you know, it might be an interesting raid. I don't know. Scourge of the
leaks?
Past, like, it might be like bigger, which
Bigger than
I mean,
Scourge?
if they didn't give us a raid with Season of the Drift, like a even raid layer with Season of the Drifter, I would hope it would be a full blown raid.
I
Honestly,
hope. My fingers
Wait,
are
what
so
what do the
crossed.
leaks say? I'm out of the loop on this.
I can't even remember. I just remember us
Oh.
talking about it like being like
it's supposed to
different.
be massive, like or something to that extent. Or maybe I misread something. I don't know.
I thought it was supposed to be like experimental in some way, which scared me.
That
They're like
does seem
trying
weird.
new
But then
things.
again, experimental. We had a fucking
With the
sparrow race.
triangle? I think that's
I
a
mean-
Destiny 3 thing.
Oh fuck it! I don't remember, so let's not waste time.
Okay, yeah.
But Bungie's gonna be at GuardianCon,
Yeah,
and they're
let's
gonna
talk
reveal
about that.
something.
Yeah.
So hopefully
With
they're
playable game stuff.
yeah, as well as revealing something. They've said.
So if you're listening to this at the time of recording, I'm going to check right now and see if everything's still available. But at the time of recording this, let's see, GuardianCon 2019, and we will see if there's still tickets available to let you guys know. It looks like there's still tickets, but the Premier Plus have sold out completely.
Oh wow.
So if you didn't get
Good
your
thing we got
Premier
when we
Plus,
did.
I'm sorry. There's still Premier passes. So there's still that at least.
I gotta buy my freaking tickets.
You're an
Your
idiot.
plane ticket or this?
Both.
Oh
You're
damn,
an
dude.
idiot.
I hope that you don't get left out of like some gameplay stuff.
Bro,
or-
I gotta get paid. This freaking
Yeah.
musical. Oh,
So
I forgot to put my
there's
apartment
tickets that
number
aren't
in an
available
invoice,
anymore.
dude.
You can't get the VIP, for instance.
Yeah, it's not called VIP anymore. There's Premier Plus, and that is sold out completely ever since Bungie made their announcement they're going to be there. So
Okay, the
I think I
135.
got mine
What's
like
the
the
difference
day they
between
dropped.
that? What's the difference between that and the Premiere?
There's a whole infographic about it
yeah, it
on the website.
well, you can look at the details here too. There's a closed circuit main stage viewing, and there was like this nighttime exclusive thing. So we don't really know, but I will just tell you. I mean, I've told you guys before. I got screwed out of playing Gambit because I didn't get the VIP tickets, so
Yeah.
I wasn't making that mistake again. We'll see what happens with this one. But if you want to go to GuardianCon at all, I would go get your tickets now if you're listening to
So
this. So
the Premiere
Especially since
Plus
Bungie's announced it,
includes
it's-
access to the rare drop awards outside of the Premiere Pass by itself.
mhm.
The Premiere Pass is still available, and that includes everything that the Premiere Plus has with it, but not access to the rare drop game awards.
Yeah, there was something in the infographic about. You remember the exclusive nighttime
Yeah,
That's what
event
that
there
thing?
was some
The
sort of
lounge.
nighttime event, something. There was also a lounge as well. Yeah.
That's just different seating in the event. But yeah, there's supposed to be a nighttime event. It doesn't say it in this view details thing.
Both of
but,
them say
Maybe they've
closed circuit
changed it or
main
something.
stage, closed circuit main stage viewing,
Okay, there you go.
and then
I've got
So-
the old infographic somewhere.
Yeah, Huffy, I would recommend at least getting that Premiere Pass.
Yeah, I will.
Then.
I'll definitely get the Premiere one.
So yeah, anybody in chat listening or anybody listening to this, you know, on the audio version or the YouTube version, make sure you go get that as soon as possible if you want to go to GuardianCon. And I'm also going to take this opportunity to reward those who are here live by saying, go back. If you're interested in a free copy of Metro Exodus, go back to this time right now where we're discussing this, and there's going to be a Metro Exodus code right here. So
Right here.
Y3P5S3D94455T6Q6DEFHD. Yeah, I'm not reading it live.
Right now.
I want to give everybody a fair shot at this, but you will have a jump start if you're somebody who's listening now. You can listen to this podcast on Google Play, Spotify, iTunes, Podbean,
well, why don't you mute
Or
GuardianCast.net.
YouTube. Yo,
For all
hit
your
the
GuardianCast-
bell button.
yourself on
Yep.
Discord and mute yourself? Have you thought about
No,
how you're
it's
doing
gonna be
it?
post-production.
Okay.
It's going to be
Post-production.
post-production. Yeah, I'm just going to have
I was
Wits
gonna say you
edited
can mute
in
yourself
after.
on not on Audacity but on Discord and on the stream, and then do it that way too.
Right.
Nah, just post-production would be easier.
Yep.
Lap it on in.
All right, so the Revelry, guys, what do we think of the Revelry?
It's basically Halloween in the spring. It is what it is.
Yeah,
There's
you
more
know.
shit to do.
You mean it's like the Dawning? It looks like the Dawning, doesn't
And
it?
it kind of looks like
Yeah,
that.
no,
but
like,
it's the
because
same
the
event.
forest.
Oh, the
Yeah.
forest thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Which I think the Dawning had something like that too, or am I mistaken? I don't know.
Um,
It's been forever.
No, the Dawning
like-
had missions.
you got to bake treats during the
Oh, that's
Dawning.
right.
Well, that was
I
the
think they were.
like I said, the first Dawning was different. It was like the snowballs.
But yeah, it's basically
it was,
Halloween in spring is what it comes down to. Is we get the forest thing again, which is, I mean, the forest was fun. It was what it was.
It's fine.
We finally get the Abalist or whatever the fuck it's called, so that'll be interesting to play with. At least my exotic collections will be completed until Penumbra.
So, I am a little tilted that I mean, I don't like the colors, but the hunter armor actually looks pretty decent for the one that you can buy from Eververse, which
Oh yeah, the ones you can
always
buy.
annoys me.
Oh wait, which is the one you can buy from Eververse?
Vernal growth armor. The Titan one looks like shit.
That's not the one in the big picture? That's the animal one, right? Or is that the?
Not the one with the glowing horns and stuff.
I really like the glowing horn cape though. I'm pretty.
You gotta scroll down. Yeah, no, actually the one at
Oh.
the top looks pretty bad.
Yo.
Right?
Yeah.
It's an actual
pretty-
full cape. The Warlock one looks really good, actually.
Yeah, it's like a good cape. You got like a scarf. The helmet doesn't look like shit. The hood is like
It's
symmetrical.
pretty bad when the does it
The
look
pants,
like crap?
the pants don't look like tights or anything. Yeah, it looks
I
pretty
mean,
good.
this
I don't
sucks.
like. Yeah,
I'm fucking pissed, dude. All the good armor is always in Eververse, dude, and the armor in Eververse
And you
is
can't
just
get
as
enhanced
good as the
perks.
armor in the game.
Well, the problem with
Like,
Eververse
Yeah.
armor is that you can't, like, you can get a random roll, but you have to pay for that random roll.
you can't get enhanced perks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but all the armor you can get enhanced perks for is like
Yep, it's just you only have a choice of raid armor or Dreaming
Gambit
City.
Prime.
It's all about that
Oh, Gambit
Easter
Prime,
Bunny,
too.
Easter Bunny ghost shell.
And I'm not playing Gambit Prime.
Yeah,
Not
I'll
gonna
put
do
Game
it.
Prime on your account if you want.
I appreciate
Oh.
that, but I don't really.
he's not gonna wear it either because it looks bad.
I'm not gonna wear it.
But yeah, so this event is a thing. There's a new exotic coming with it. The what's it called, guys? Do you remember?
The Abalist or
Yeah,
something.
Arbalist,
Yeah.
Arbalist.
Arbalist, yeah.
Yeah, what is it? It's like a new type of
It's a-
weapon. Like I
It's a
saw.
fusion. It's a primary fusion rifle.
Yeah, but you like don't see the trail from it, right? Like
I don't know.
It's in the trailer. You can see him
Oh.
shoot it, and he like lines it up, and it I don't know, it like fires like a weird like kinetic weapon.
Yeah, it's a kinetic version of a fusion rifle, so it's really bizarre. And I mean, it looks kind of like Cerberus-y, where it was kind of like weirdly put together and maybe not exactly used in its intended, form type deal as far as like, the weapon is concerned.
It's the first weapon of its kind. It does extra damage against enemy shields. So
That's pretty cool.
it's definitely going to be a
Not too
PvE
terrible.
focused weapon.
Be nice with my recluse.
Yeah. Thinks back to D1 Vex Mythoclast. It's nothing like that because the Vex Mythoclast actually fired like it was a pulse rifle or an auto rifle, depending how
Yeah, I
you
think it
want
was weird.
like an auto rifle. This fires a single shot. It's like a linear fusion rifle that is actually a
Yeah.
primary, but it doesn't have that much range, and it fires
Almost like
like
a
a
musket, if you,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah, it looked like there was shit everywhere, almost like a shotgun. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
very very weird, very very weird.
Be interesting
Um,
to see the lore tab on it and see what it actually,
But-
you know.
Yeah, I
all
don't
that.
really understand it fully yet, but you're going to be able to not buy it for real money, but you'll be able to buy it from Eva if you have enough
You'll be able
currency.
to earn it if you do enough of the bounties, this, that, and
Right.
the other. Like you basically have to do the event shit to earn
You
it.
need the currency, the weird like tonic stuff, right? The Revelry's
Yeah, which
tonic.
you'll get from doing it. It's like when we were getting like the stuff to bake cookies. That you do the bounties, you get the shit.
Oh,
you
Huffy,
get
you're going to be
stuff.
pissed about this.
Please.
You're not going to play PvP this whole week, like 2 weeks because the stupid, the antlers and
Oh.
stuff. These like give you damage perks and crap that make you more powerful, and it applies in the Crucible until the event's over.
What do you mean?
Also
like what?
includes
what-
your abilities. It's gonna be ability spam again. is what
It's gonna
be.
give you like infinite grenades. It says each piece in the set you equip will boost the effect of Reveler's tonic. There's consumables and stuff, and it applies in the Crucible. People are gonna be able to throw like infinite grenades and crap like that.
In comp?
I don't
Probably.
know. I don't know about comp, but I definitely know that they said in the Crucible specifically, and I can't imagine them actually separating that.
That sounds awesome.
Sounds annoying,
Like,
dude. I'm glad I'm done with fucking shit.
What
that,
the
dude.
fuck were they thinking, dude?
I'll
They're
reschedule all
bringing
my
mayhem
lessons.
to everything.
That's not happening.
Oh my god, yeah, that would be terrible. Like, well, this normally wouldn't happen, but that guy just threw an 8th grenade in a row.
Yeah, and with the arc bolts, arc web right now is so
Oh, yeah.
stupid.
Arc web or or even the skip grenades with the Shinobu's Vow. We already have 2 or
All right, so 3 different tonics will reduce the cooldown of your grenades, melee, or class ability. Choose which buff you prefer and let the sparks fly by. It says the powerful effect applies to every activity in the game except private matches.
oh my.
That's silly. Like,
So if you don't have your
Revelers will
recluse, you can
even
get
be
it this
more
week.
dangerous in the Crucible. That's what it says.
it's gonna be
Yeah,
annoying. That's gonna
Revelers
be an annoying
will
week.
be even more dangerous in
that,
the
man.
Crucible. Fantastic.
Better get my Luna's precision hand shot or hand cannon shots done today.
So maybe they're
Right.
testing it though. Maybe they're testing something to like the faster cooldown abilities. and
No,
stuff.
How
they're
many
just
people they
fucking
can
with
make
us.
quit the
That's
game?
it.
Is
that
Yeah. It's
testing
Maybe
literally
that?
that's what they're trying to do. They're
they're-
trying to see how many people they can get to leave Destiny before Destiny
It's
3.
basically mayhem mechanics. That's it. They're not testing anything. It's just
You know what
Just
cracks me
mayhem
up
in
about
normal
this?
Crucible.
This cracks me up because they're like, guys, I don't know if we can make high impact snipers one shot supers. That might be a little too strong. But they're like, infinite grenades? Yeah, well, mix it up a little bit. What's the worst that could happen?
People
You
just
could-
they just want when people like the number one complaint I hear from people that are bad at the game. Sorry, people are like, he just killed me in my super. And so like they
Don't
just
be
want to make
weak.
sure that when you hit that super button, you are invincible and you're
Yeah.
going on a tear. Even so, I don't know.
What do you guys think of the balance patch?
Eh,
Huffy, you
it
go
is what it
first.
is.
Nothing looked fine.
Nothing looked fine. Have you tried anything new on the Hunter, or are you still playing Top Tree?
I'm still playing Top Tree Tether. I haven't felt a big difference. I've gotten arc webbed a couple of times by stormcallers, and that sucks. It's nice to see
Yeah.
some class variety.
Yeah.
I've seen more arc striders. The arc strider super is still buns, so
Yeah, it sucks.
it's like dealing with them like jumping at me and like trying to punch me is like.
I'm gonna be
it's
honest.
fine.
I don't want them to buff it.
I don't either. It's
I
supposed to be about neutral game, right? It's specific.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm enjoying the neutral game. It's pretty good. I don't think it's broken in any way. Like even with the
No.
buffs, it's like it feels pretty small.
Yeah. All the
I've
buffs
actually
are
seen
pretty
the
small,
spectrals.
except for arc web.
Look, the only thing I would say, I don't want like mobility buffs to the super. I don't want it to really be able to like fly through the air or anything like that. But if I hit a Dawnblade up close, they should die. If I hit another super up close, they should die in one hit. None of this two hit, because it's impossible. Fucking impossible with the slowest super in the game to be able to hit them twice. I don't know why I have to hit them twice. It's really dumb. But you can leave the rest of it terrible. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's a melee super,
Yeah.
I get it for spectral blades why it would be twice, but for
Yeah.
arc strider it really doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that you would have to double hit like a slam, but not a Dawn blade.
Maybe if they're mid slam, I'm okay with that.
I think
Not
that
many
you
people
should.
use that
I think
either,
that you
so.
should two hit a slam, and I think a slam should two hit you.
Well, but here the slam does have to two hit you if they do the charge attack, but if they slam you, then you die instantly.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between that is our right trigger doesn't one hit slam.
No.
So
The only way you can kill another super is if you use the palm strike, which is so hard to set up.
Honestly, it would be fine if it took us two hits with the normal swing, like the melee swing, as long as the right trigger killed him in one.
Yeah.
The longer
exactly.
animation, it makes sense.
Yep.
I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, so I enjoy some of the sandbox changes. What about you two? Have you guys played any PvP?
No, I
Tried
haven't.
anything new?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really tried anything. I do like that I haven't seen as many spectrals. There's been a lot more, like Huffy said, a lot more class variety.
Mhm.
You're still seeing your Dawn Blades, you're still seeing, shit like that. But you are seeing more arc, which is nice. I spent a lot of time in comp this week, because I got my Recluse. I'm almost done with my Lunas. I've seen more variety. Other than that, I mean, I can't really speak to much of the changes. I haven't really changed much myself.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, it's nice seeing that there's more shit out there rather than just Spectral or just Dawnblade or just whatever nonsense Titan shit. So
CPR, have you not been playing Destiny, or are you playing other things, or what's the deal?
I haven't really been playing a whole lot. I've been preparing for some things around the house right now, so I haven't really had a chance to really play a lot of games.
Okay. Yeah. Life stuff, I get that.
Yeah, I mean, it was like last week I had to replace a light bulb and like a car had went out. Like I had to actually I had the light bulb myself and I had like the tool to do it. So it's like I just had to find time to it. And
This is a joke.
no, I fixed a tail light recently. Like last week.
One light bulb is what's been weighing you down, man.
It's not so much that, but I had other stuff. But I
Man, this one light bulb, guys, it really set me back.
The one light bulb. No, I had like taxes, my taxes and stuff.
that tricky son of a bitch, dude.
That makes sense. It is tax week for those of us listeners who are not.
Yeah, it is.
Listening.
If you're not done, you got to get on that. You have 4 days.
Yeah, I would definitely get on that as soon as possible.
Yeah. Void.
So just so everybody knows, there was some quality of life stuff that went into effect. If you're still hunting Curse Breaker, which I am, it's supposed to be easier to get those cosmetics now. I'm probably gonna try. We'll see if anything happens this week. I might try for 1K soon. That'll be pretty interesting. There's also this interesting
raid Sherpa. I got you, boy.
Nice. there's also this interesting bug where if you went to Xur for the 30-minute span of time between when the hotfix went live and before he went away for the weekly reset, then you had a chance to get Wave Splitter from the Faded Engram.
Yeah, but
but they're disabling it.
But yeah, it's already disabled.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I was going to mention about the
yesterday is when the hotfix went through. That's when they
the same thing. Like
up until yesterday.
Like they don't care about ability spam, or they don't care about this, or they don't care about that, but they definitely care about those masterwork cores. Because that got patched as well.
Yeah.
So similar.
Personally, they just need to get rid of that shit. That shit's so dumb and so pointless as far as infusion materials go. Like, what the fuck is the point? Just make it cost more, like berry and bows or whatever the fuck it is. Like, that's so dumb. Just get rid of the masterwork cores. It's absurd. It's so dumb. It's just another stupid thing, and I hate it.
Yeah, I don't honestly care anymore.
Yeah, fair.
I just think that, like, I don't know, like, why they're trying to fix this system when I know that they're just going to abandon this economy like they have in the past. Every time there's been a problematic economy, they've just revamped it to a new economy. Like in D1 when they had, like, the 3 different armor materials, and then they turned them into one, and then, like, people had too many of those, so they let them turn in for faction reputation, and it just kept changing and changing. And then you could buy the materials from, like, the faction vendors and stuff. It was like...
Well, it's because they're sure they can figure it out, you think? Or, like, they're like, we've outsmarted the problem this time, we promise.
No, it's just them not either overthinking something or underthinking something. It's just
Bungie, so it's probably
Bungie
overthinking.
nonsense. Yeah.
So the whole reason, though, that the Wave Splitter thing happened is because of a good thing. You can now, if you're still hunting any Forsaken Exotics guys, you can get them from Faded Engrams. So don't forget to go to Xur and buy your Faded Engrams every week if you still have any exotic pieces you're hunting down.
And you still
1K is not one of them.
You still have access to Wave Splitter even in your it's disabled right now.
Oh, they didn't take it out of the loot pool?
No, you still
You
have
can own it still.
Yeah,
you still have it in your inventory. You just can't use it.
Like if you didn't get it, you can't get it now.
No, yeah, you can't get it
Correct.
now, right?
You can't obtain it anymore, but you can.
It's funny because the actual I saw the actual error message, the one that said it just says requires.
Interesting.
It's a red thing. It's blacked out. It says required. Requires. Doesn't say what it requires. It just requires.
September 19th.
Yeah, it's September, exactly.
You gotta stick it to the man. Be like, I don't require shit.
Well, the Wave Splitter requires though.
Oh yeah, the Wave Splitter. That, honestly, I wonder what, like, surely they got a call from Sony.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely. Oh yeah.
I just want to know what was on that phone call. Like, if you don't fix this. Like, I don't know, like, if you don't give us our, what are they even called? Trace rifle.
They'd be in breach of
exclusivity.
Contract. They'd be in breach of contract.
No, they don't even know what it was, dude. Somebody, like, gave Sony a call, and they're like, look, the exclusives you have for Destiny are being violated right now. Other platforms got them. And then they called, and they're like, hey, our thing, guys.
Yeah.
Give it back to us.
I'm betting it was Sony's legal team, if anything. Like, they're like, oh, they're in breach of contract. Sue. So they sent out the legal.
To be fair, it was a minor bug. It probably wasn't. I doubt that many people actually have it because most people figured it out once once Zero went away. So I don't know.
Wasn't there a stipulation?
Get used to it, Sony, because it's going away. This exclusivity crap better be going away forever.
Wasn't there a stipulation in their contract that they had to fix any game-breaking bugs within 3 months, or otherwise they would lose their company to Activision, kind of deal?
It doesn't matter anymore because
no, but I mean, like,
out of the picture.
I wonder how much of that would be considered like a game-breaking bug in that sense.
Not game breaking. It's a minor mistake of allowing
for Sony though. I mean, because
but it's not violating the game. It's not breaking
They were violating a contract when that happened, though. So I'm just like wondering. I'm wondering where that falls on the line of legal.
Game breaking bug would be like.
Yeah, I know what I would think a game breaking bug would be, but I just wonder what what Bungie or Activision considers.
A game breaking bug isn't like a cockroach because you can just shoo those. It's like a spider, like something that makes you punch the shit out of your monitor, and then you can't play anymore.
Like a huntsman, Australian huntsman or something like that. And
Yeah.
they're like, you know what? The house is yours. I'm gonna burn it down. I'm gonna start over.
Yep.
Indeed. So like I said, not too much Destiny stuff this week, but you guys have anything else you wanna?
Yeah, that ghost with the fucking helmet. Like, I know it's supposed to be a ladybug, but the ghost that's wearing the rugby helmet is killing me,
geez.
dude.
I missed that one. I only saw the one with the ears at first.
It's
which
so
I have to
funny,
buy.
dude.
Yeah, that's weird.
And the Jade Rabbit ornament looks worse than the normal Jade Rabbit. Like, the pink Jade
It's
Rabbit
dumb,
is
dude.
the best.
It's fucking dumb.
I mean, the problem is they're putting ornaments on guns that no one uses. So
That
Yeah.
also have other ornaments.
Which,
There's guns
you know,
that
it's
don't
going to
have
cost
ornaments.
$10 and only be available for direct purchase. Like, who's going to pay $10 for that thing?
Oh,
There's gonna
really?
be somebody that's gonna pay $10 for that, dude.
It's the Jade Rabbit ornament, and then the ghost with like the pink bunny ears are only available for direct purchase bundles.
And they're probably gonna be what, 11?
Probably.
10 or $11, yeah,
Yeah.
usually.
Probably.
Or you can get all
No.
three for 30.
Ooh.
Absolutely not. I want that sparrow, though. The pink one with, like, the clothesline, so I can hang my
I just want
undies
that
up.
hunter set to like let me transmog it in, dude.
Right? The hunter
I would
set
pay
is, like,
for
not
it.
bad.
I'd pay for it if I could just straight up buy it for a set amount,
Yeah,
you know?
same.
They're not interested in making things that you would buy.
Can we talk about one quick thing? Just a quick aside.
I'm listening.
Apex Legends is screwing the pooch, dude.
With the season
What's happening?
pass?
I mean, just like with everything, like they're not like with the season pass, with the content that they're delivering, with the speed at which they adjust things and what they're adjusting. Like they came out so strong, they filled a void. They had like a groundbreaking, drop, and now, like,
Yeah. So
it's so dead.
I think we
That
talked
game is
about it
dead.
when it launched. I mean, even though we were all excited for it when it came out, it's still a fun game and there's nothing wrong with it. But it was always going to come down to, can they match or exceed Fortnite's pace of output for like their content updates and stuff. I
Yeah.
don't like their answers on the new map. They seem to want to do. I mean, I don't know, but they should not make a new map because that will just separate the community. They should edit the map that they have and just do it the Fortnite way versus PUBG. That was a lot of the problem with PUBG, was that they made separate maps and it caused the community to like splinter off into, I like this map, I like this map, I'm only gonna play on this map, I'm only gonna play on that
Yeah.
map. And Fortnite
And then they
solved that
splintered into
problem.
FPP and 3P. Like they added the different styles. That was bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and then so Fortnite solved the problem by saying, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna have one map and we're gonna make changes to it over time, and that's the better way to do it. But like their wired answers for the Respawn developer with how he was answering it is he was like, oh yeah, no, I'd like to see a snow map or whatever. I'd like to see this or I'd like to see that. I like a different map, and they didn't focus on any questions revolving around. I didn't really expect them to, but they didn't really. Like the questions that they did ask about a map were about a new map, and I didn't care for those answers.
Yeah. Man, they really had a shot. And they haven't blown their shot yet. They can like release.
No,
Oh, yeah, they could come back.
exactly. Their season 2, it changes every 12 weeks for them, or every 13 weeks. They definitely, but they'd have to pull something, out of their hat essentially. Something unexpected that's going to.
There's something about it. Like I can play. Like if I sit down and I look at my computer screen, like even though I'm bad, like there's something about Fortnite that, like I want to open it every time I sit down. I can't always play, but like I always want to play Fortnite. With Apex, it's like I play it for like 2 hours and then it's like, yeah, that was good. There's like something about it that is inherently really solid, but it's not bingeable.
I think it's faster paced. There's like the
Mm.
PUBG moments that you'd have in like that was like a lot slower and would made it more fun to watch people watching you play it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta end it there.
Sweet.
Thanks everybody for watching this week. Let me know if you're the one who ends up getting the free copy of Metro Exodus. We can like
Tweet us at
tweet
the
it out or
GuardianCast.
something. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, definitely tweet at us, send me a message, whatever. I'd like to make that public knowledge just so you guys know that I'm not making this up.
Turn on the bell notification.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, on YouTube,
hit
bell
like.
notification.
Yeah. All right, guys, it's been a great episode. See you next week. Peace.
Later.
Bye.